know that feeling. You sit by the window, your favorite cup of tea in hand, watching the afternoon sun dip low. The phone sits quietly on the table. You glance at it, once, twice, waiting for it to ring, hoping it might be one of the kids. Maybe today's the day they call, but it doesn't ring, and slowly, that silence begins to stretch. Not just across the room, but inside your heart. If this sounds familiar, I want you to know something deeply important. You're not alone. And more importantly, it's not your fault. Life gets busy. People get caught up in their own worlds. And sometimes, even those we love the most forget how much a simple call can mean. But that doesn't mean you're any less loved or less valuable. It just means life is messy. But that silence, it doesn't have to steal your joy. Today we're going to talk heart to heart. This isn't just another list of things to keep you busy. This is about real, simple things you can do to feel whole again, to feel connected, to protect that precious peace inside you, even when your children stop calling, because your happiness shouldn't be on hold waiting for a ringtone. Let's start with something simple but powerful: reclaiming your own time. You see, for so many years, your time belonged to someone else. Your mornings were for packing lunches, your afternoons for school runs, your evenings for helping with homework or cooking dinner. Somewhere along the way, your identity became wrapped up in what you did for others. But now, it's time to gently unwrap that and remember who you are. This is your season, not for worrying about why someone didn't call, but for rediscovering the things that light you up. That might be something creative, like painting, gardening, or finally writing that short story you've had in your mind for years. Or maybe it's something active, like joining a local walking group, or stretching your legs in the morning sun with a gentle routine. Whatever it is, do it for you, not for anyone else. Reclaiming your time doesn't mean forgetting your children. It means remembering yourself. Now, while you're doing that, there's something else that makes a world of difference. Talk to someone every day, even if it's not your children. Human beings aren't made for silence. We're wired for connection, for conversation, for the warmth that comes from simply being heard. And guess what? That connection doesn't have to come from family. It can come from a neighbor you wave at each morning, or a friend from church, or even someone new you meet at a local cafe. Just one friendly conversation a day can ease that ache inside. And if you feel shy or unsure where to start, begin small. Compliment someone on their sweater. Ask a cashier how their day is going. It might seem like nothing, but it's actually something huge. Those little interactions remind you that you're still part of the world, that you still matter, and often, those tiny seeds grow into something more. A new friendship, a lunch invitation, a reminder that life still has beautiful surprises waiting around the corner. And here's another gentle truth. It's okay to feel hurt, but don't let that hurt build walls around your heart. When someone we love drifts away, even unintentionally, it can feel like a rejection. It's easy to let that pain turn into bitterness, to start telling yourself stories like, "They don't care about me," or "I must have done something wrong, but let's pause here." Feelings are like waves. They come, and if we don't fight them, they pass. So if you're feeling sad or disappointed, give yourself permission to feel it. Sit with it, cry if you need to. But after that, let it move through you. Because when you start building walls to protect yourself, you also block out the good things trying to get in: new friends, unexpected joy, the peace that comes from acceptance. Instead of building walls, build bridges to yourself, to your community, to the people around you who are still reaching out. You never know who needs you just as much as you've been needing them. And as we talk about building bridges, let me tell you something truly beautiful. You have a choice every single day to create joy. Not wait for it, create it. You don't need anyone else to hand it to you. You can make it yourself. Maybe that means putting on your favorite music and dancing like no one's watching. Maybe it's baking cookies and sharing them with your neighbor, or sitting outside in the sunshine and letting your heart be warmed by something as simple as birdsong. Joy isn't always loud. Sometimes, it's in the quiet moments we create for ourselves. And once you start practicing that kind of joy on your terms, it begins to grow. Slowly, steadily. It fills the spaces that once felt empty. So if your phone hasn't rung today, that's okay. Because you still get to decide what kind of day you have. You still get to smile, to laugh, to stretch your legs, and open your heart. Your life is not on pause. It's happening. Right now. Now that you've taken a breath, reclaimed your time, and reminded yourself that joy doesn't have to wait on anyone else, let's talk about something that can truly lift your spirit. Finding purpose in the everyday. Purpose doesn't have to be some grand mission or a lifelong dream. Sometimes it's simply having something to look forward to. A reason to get up, to stretch, to smile even when the house feels too quiet. Maybe that purpose is volunteering a few hours at the library, or lending a hand at the local food bank. Maybe it's babysitting the neighbor's dog, or gently tending to those flowers in your backyard with love. Whatever it is, let it be something that brings a spark to your soul. Because when you're doing something meaningful, something that matters, even in a small way, you stop feeling like you're just waiting around for someone to call, and instead you begin to create a life that's full, rich, and yours. And here's the most beautiful part. When you're living with purpose, people notice. You become that warm, vibrant light that others feel drawn to. That energy, it doesn't come from how many texts you get. It comes from within, from doing what lights you up, from showing up for your life, no matter what anyone else is doing. But I know, I truly know, there are still moments when you miss them, when your heart quietly aches remembering birthdays and bedtime stories, those precious simpler times. That's why it's so important, so very important, to let go of expectations and embrace acceptance instead. And I know that might sound tough, because we all carry hopes in our hearts, don't we? We hope they'll call more often, visit on the weekends, remember our anniversaries, or just send a sweet message saying, "I love you." But when those hopes are met with silence, it can feel like something deep inside you deflates. Here's the truth, though. Expectations are heavy. They create pressure, not just for them, but for you. And when you begin to loosen their grip even just a little, you breathe easier. You start to free yourself from waiting, from wondering, from that question that lingers in your chest. Why didn't they call? Instead, you begin to focus on what is happening, not what's missing. Maybe your daughter doesn't call every week, but she never forgets your birthday. Maybe your son isn't great on the phone, but he checks in during the holidays. Or maybe, just maybe, they're not reaching out at all right now. But you still have the power to reach inward, to find peace and joy right where you are. Not waiting outside yourself to feel complete, and something magical happens when you accept things as they are. You create space for healing, for reconnection. People often come around when the pressure is off, when the energy shifts from, "Why haven't you called?" to, "I'm okay, and I'm here if you ever want to talk." That kind of peace, it doesn't chase, it welcomes. Now I want to share something that has helped so many. Something simple but incredibly powerful. Start keeping a gratitude journal. Yes, really. You might be thinking, what does that have to do with feeling better when my kids don't call? But hear me out. When your mind is full of worry or hurt, it becomes easy to forget the good things. The smell of fresh coffee in the morning. The birds softly singing just outside your window. That neighbor who always offers a smile when you walk by. The strength of your body that's still carrying you through each day. Despite everything it's been through, write down just 3 small things you're grateful for each day. It could be anything. The warmth of your blanket, A kind word from a stranger. The way sunlight dances on your kitchen floor. This gentle habit will start to shift your focus. It doesn't ignore the pain. It balances it. It says, yes, this hurts, but this is beautiful too. And slowly, over time, your heart learns to spot the light. Even on the darkest days, gratitude won't erase loneliness, but it softens it. It reminds you that life still holds blessings. And most of them, they don't depend on a phone call. And one last truth I want you to hold close. Your happiness is not selfish. Not at all. In fact, it's one of the greatest gifts you can give. When you choose joy, even in the silence, even in the stillness, you become a light in someone else's day. Whether it's the young woman at the grocery store who sees your smile or the child who waves at you as you walk by their yard, your presence, your energy, it matters. So let your days be full. Let them be meaningful. Let them be yours. And if you find yourself glancing at the phone again, wondering if they'll ever call, just remember, you still have the power to choose how your day unfolds. You're not forgotten. You are not alone. You are still here, still important, still deeply, beautifully you. As we wrap up this conversation, I want to remind you of something incredibly important. You are never too old to create meaningful connections. I know sometimes it can feel like the world is changing too fast. Technology moves at lightning speed and everyone seems so wrapped up in their own busy lives. But here's a little secret. Connection is still possible. It may look a little different than it did when your children were younger, but that doesn't make it any less valuable. In fact, some of the richest, most rewarding relationships are the ones you build later in life. Start small. Maybe there's someone in your neighborhood who could use a friend, someone who might be sitting alone, just like you. A quick chat over the fence, a cup of coffee, or a simple, "How are you today?" that might turn into something far more meaningful. We tend to forget that every person we meet has their own stories, their own joys, their own struggles. Reaching out can open up a world of connection that's been waiting right outside your door. And if reaching out to others feels daunting, try to start with yourself. Focus on self-compassion. We're often our own harshest critics, aren't we? We beat ourselves up over things we wish we'd done differently. Maybe you feel like you could have been a better parent. Maybe you think that if you'd been more attentive, your children would be calling more often. But here's the truth. Every parent has those moments. It doesn't make you any less of a wonderful person. You did the best you could, and that's enough. When we start practicing self-compassion, we begin to let go of regret and guilt. We give ourselves permission to just be, to forgive ourselves for the times we've fallen short, and to celebrate the times we got it right. No one is perfect, but that doesn't mean we're not worthy of love and joy. Now let's talk about something else that can be incredibly healing, giving yourself permission to embrace your own pace. After years of being in go, go, go mode, it can feel strange to slow down. You're used to taking care of everyone else and solving their problems, helping them through tough times. But now, it's time to nurture your own rhythm. It's okay if some days are quiet. It's okay if you take a break and simply rest. Embrace the slower moments. Maybe it's a walk in the park. Maybe it's sitting on your porch and watching the world go by. You don't have to fill every moment with tasks or activities. The beauty of slowing down is that it gives you room to breathe, to reflect, and to be present. You might find that those quiet moments give you a sense of peace and connection that's even more profound than the busy days of the past. And if you feel a little lost without the daily rush, that's okay too. Explore new hobbies or rediscover old ones. Is there something you've always wanted to learn but never had the time for? Maybe it's picking up a paintbrush, playing an instrument, or learning a new language. These small acts of self-discovery can bring a sense of excitement and purpose back into your life. They remind you that no matter how old you are, there's always room to grow. And sometimes that growth happens in the most unexpected places. Lastly, remember this. Your value is not tied to your children's actions. It's easy to start thinking that your worth is determined by how much others need you, but that's simply not true. Your worth comes from who you are, your kindness, your wisdom, your heart. You are not just a parent. You are a person with a rich history, experiences, and dreams that still matter. So when the phone doesn't ring, remind yourself that you're still incredible, you're still loved, you're still needed. Your children may not always call, but there are so many others who benefit from your light. Whether it's a friend, a neighbor, or even someone you haven't met yet. This is your time to shine, on your terms. The chapters of your life are still being written, and they're filled with moments that are just as meaningful as any you've had before. Remember, happiness is not something you wait for. It's something you create. It's a choice you make every day. And while life may be different now, that doesn't mean it's any less beautiful or fulfilling. It's just waiting for you to embrace it with open arms. Thank you so much for being here and for spending this time with me today. If any of this resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Maybe you found new ways to fill your days. Or maybe you've had your own experiences with loneliness that have shaped your journey. Whatever it is, know that sharing your story can help someone else feel less alone. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more content just like this. Here's to living your best life, at any age. Keep shining, and remember, you are never alone.